Welcome to the BurlyTalk show. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy.
Hey, welcome to BurlyTalk episode 4. I'm your host, Sean, and this is Andrew. And so, episode 4. We covered in the first 3 episodes kind of what brought us together, and that's the whole goal is we want to set our backstory. Why are we doing this? What do we have to contribute to the podcast world? Sometimes you'll see a podcast and not saying it's a bad thing, but you'll jump in and be like, what's this dude's deal? Like, why did he start this? Why am I listening to what I'm listening to? How did this become? This is also a lot for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's more for us, and then we're just hoping you guys enjoy the ride as well. So
yeah, exactly. Just wanted to say we really appreciate all the support we've been getting from family and friends. And if you don't know us and you happen across the podcast and you like it and you're listening, we want to thank you as well. Let's get into current life.
Yeah. So like kind of what we're up to today and like what's going on and what we've been doing since like leaving the military. And again, like Sean mentioned, we covered a lot of that in the previous episode. So current life, I mean, at least for me, what I'm doing now is I got I pursued school, graduated, and I'm getting my degree in Bachelor's of Science in Computer Information Systems. Been doing that, and I actually just got a role, a new job, actually doing networking, which is kind of like my dream. Essentially, is trying to get into networking, and then further from there, it is like cybersecurity, something I'm a little bit more passionate about. And that's something that has been not an easy task. If anybody's getting into like networking and computers in general, it's not. I guess I wouldn't say it's too easy, but it is something that it's fun for me. That's kind of what I've been up to, at least for right now. Family wise, we moved to Montana and kind of have been adjusting up here, and feel like it's been pretty easy. That's like the cool thing about this part of the country, and Wyoming in general too. Everybody up here is like makes it super easy. Like I had like these whole, what do you call it? I had like this idea that maybe people are going to be a little bit more like hard ass because like I'm from California. And don't get me wrong, I got some of those looks every time I'm like, hey, where you from? Somebody, and I say from California, they're like, I was like, hey, like, it's all right. Like, I'm not here to change shit. And,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, that's the thing about being up in this part of the country too, is a lot of people, they just want you to be a good person. They just want you to be a good neighbor, leave them alone, be a good person. And if you're kind of in line with that, like it's going to go well.
Yeah. And I feel like that's why it's been pretty easy for me and Remy to like my wife. We haven't had any issues, and, yeah, we love it up here, and life's really been good. I mean, I don't have too many complaints. Honestly, it's been it's not easy. I think like we covered it in the last episode a little bit, but there is that whole transition, and you just kind of have to keep on working at things every day. But fortunately, if you're in a good part of the country, it makes things a lot more easy. So
it does, and when you can walk out your door and everything around you beautiful, and you're not in this city in this just concrete high rises and stuff,
Yeah, I walk outside and there's deer and there's wildlife everywhere, big red-haired squirrels and things, and it's just like awesome. Yeah, that's like another reason why we love it up here. You can't pass that up, And we're what is it? A couple hours from Yellowstone, and in the most beautiful part of the entire country, I'd argue, is that little strip right there. So
that's the thing. You guys go into the park quite a bit, don't you?
Oh yeah,
like
we go.
You're always posting pictures in the park and stuff, and just out there doing it, and it's awesome, man.
Yeah, we love it. Like I think that's it's funny because like me and the wife have like that joke because you see people there who like they get there like 3 a.m. and they're just camped out. They got the lawn chairs out there and they have like their spotter scopes and they're there. They're dialed in for the day. And at first when we got here, we were like, what the hell are these people doing? Like what are you looking at the whole day? Like, there's the same deer or whatever, or what is the same bison. But then after we've gone, just for a record, people, we've gone like every weekend.
Yeah.
Like we go consistently every weekend, as much as we can. And I see it now. It makes sense to me because that's on my shopping list, is getting a spotter scope and just getting there at 3 a.m. and just setting up and watching, because it's beautiful. Like you can't, even those little moments when you're seeing like a bison, a little, like maybe the babies, maybe they're playing around or whatever. You don't, if you're just driving by, you don't see that.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like you don't appreciate it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And to capture those moments, I feel like is something that is, for me, it like resonates really well because my wife as well. We just like watching it. Like,
Yeah.
Last time we were there, we saw two like adolescent bisons. They're like teenage years. You would argue, right? They're little, not big, not small, but they were freaking ramming each other or whatever. But it was just like a cool moment, you know?
Yeah.
And it was when they're rutting, and they're trying to get all like buffed up on each other, and but you don't see that, you know, all the time. You know?
Yeah, not when you're driving through it, 50 miles an hour. You can sit in a place and stop and appreciate it for a little bit of time, and watch how the day unfolds in that little area. I got you. So, what's your wife do for work?
So right now she is actually a like, what do you call it? A civil engineer for the state. So she works for Montana Department of Transportation. Prior to that, she was doing title coordination, and now we're hoping she's actually gearing herself up to actually get into IT as well. Her kind of goal is to get more on the forensic sides of like cybersecurity. So once that happens, great. But that's like her track right now is to kind of go cybersecurity. Outside of that, yeah, she's like full, I think, like Montana now too. I mean, she's got the bow. She was just out shooting yesterday, doing some archery training, and we're talking about going pheasant hunting for the first time, which I gotta ask you about that later.
Absolutely, dude.
Gotta task you out for some of that. Yeah, we've never been hunting before. My wife's never been hunting, and that's what she wanted for birthday is pheasant hunting and a shotgun, which is, I don't know, you can't really say that it doesn't get more American than that. And she's
100%.
She's only been a citizen for like half a year.
Well, that's the thing. When you guys first moved up here, one of our first stops was to Shields, which is, if you don't have a Shields around your area, just think of like a Cabela's or Bass Pro, that kind of thing. It's just this big outdoor store. And we go there and we spent, I don't know how much time in the gun section just like buying firearms. You're like, because you had fresh in from California and you're just like, okay, I need my shot of Americana right now. Like, we got to go buy some rifles.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was like a shocking experience, because it was like when you go to like, when you're in California, everything's illegal. So, seeing like just guns and ammo and everything out, just out was shocking in itself. And it's like I think how it should be. Like you go in, here's money, sir. They do the background check because guess what? There are rules when it comes to owning firearms. Yeah. You do a background check. So
the guns aren't just like randomly jumping off the racks and murdering people.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's crazy. It's crazy how that works.
Blew my mind, dude. Being from California, I had no idea. Honestly, I was scared of my Glock every night.
Yeah, don't believe the hype.
Yeah, so that was shocking in itself. I think it only took maybe. Like I bought like 3 guns. I think 4 guns that day, and it took like maybe a couple hours. Granted, I don't have a dirty history. I'm not a felon or nothing, and so they did that, and it was awesome, man. We got all our guns. We got the American experience, and like I said, it's been a blessing. And my wife, she really kind of just like fell into like the whole Montana life. She's been out hiking, and she does a lot more active things than me, and I'm trying to catch up, but it's great up here, dude. You can't really complain unless you hate outdoors. Like that's the only way I see you hating Wyoming or Montana.
That's the thing, dude. Some people do. They're like, outside, like, oh, it's dirty, or oh, it's cold there. It's like, oh, guess what? If it's cold, I just go inside. Like,
bro, I have this argument with so many people because like, obviously, most of my family's in California still, and like everybody's like, oh, it gets so cold up there. Like, how do you guys do it? And like you just said, it's cold outside. I'm going to either put something warm on and maybe just hang out inside for a little bit, or I'm just not going to go outside today.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Simple as that.
It's too easy.
Yeah.
Too easy.
And don't get me wrong, that's like, if you work outside, maybe there's a difference there, but I feel like most jobs, like I think 90% of jobs out here don't work in the winter. Like unless like you're a police officer, so you have to drive, but you're still in your squad car most of the time.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I may have to be out on a wreck for a little while, but throw a coat on, beanie, gloves, and like just there's a point where I get to go back into my vehicle, and then there's a point where I get to go back to the office and type my report or whatever. So I guess that's what I've been doing. I've been a police officer since I got out. I got out of the military in 2019. I was still doing some guard stuff for the Montana Guard. There wasn't an infantry unit in Wyoming that was close. I think the closest one I could have drilled in Cheyenne, but that's hours away from here. Where I could
8 hours, right?
Yeah, it's 7, 8 hours, something like that. But in Billings, little under 2 hours, could be up there, do my drill, and then. So I was with the Montana Guard, but living in Wyoming, and then I work for a municipality here in Wyoming as a police officer. So killing it, just really holding it down. Got out, got a bachelor's. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't go back to college or anything.
But you're a police officer. I'd say that I'd argue that is slightly more important than whatever the hell I'm doing.
Nah, dude. Damn, dude. It's fulfilling. I do like being a cop. I enjoy it. I get to help out my community. It's kind of being like, it's challenging being a police officer in the place where you grew up, just because you know everybody, but it's also a big advantage. Mostly everybody.
Yeah, he's arrested me. It's not fun. Just playing.
Stop bringing that yayo through my my jurisdiction. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. They gotta legalize out here in Wyoming.
Sheesh. And on that note, we'll move on to the next subject.
What's your wife do? What's the family and everything?
Yeah. So my wife, don't know what I'd do without her. We've been married we're working on our 7th year right now. We have 2 children, Avery and Cullen, and a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. We just ended up building a house not too long ago and settling in there.
It's a shop house. And it's nice. I say that in like it's a dope ass house. If you ever if you don't know what shop houses are, Google them, or like barn dominions, like that style of houses. Sweet.
Yeah. So, I mean, back to the topic, I don't know what I'd do without my wife. She designed the entire thing. Like, she designed the whole house. She's not an architect or anything like that. She just she's figures out what she needs to do, and then she will stop at nothing to accomplish that task. Like, case in point, she wanted to become a realtor a couple of years ago, so she became a realtor. She got on with an awesome brokerage here in the area. They're actually very sprawling. Like, they handle most of northwest Wyoming. And then also she got into jiu-jitsu a little over a year ago and made just a drastic change in her life. Dropped down to, she's 130 pounds right now, and she's going to have her first amateur MMA fight in Pocatello, Idaho, probably around the time this airs. So her fight is this upcoming Friday, so October 27th, I believe. Very neat. So
super awesome too. We're gonna have the wives come on. I think at some point we're talking about it, because I think it'd be kind of cool to hear like my wife's take on coming to the United States, like how that all went for her, and then hear how Michelle's experience with dabbling between being a realtor, a mom, and then dealing with you, and then preparing for a fight. She's fighting every day of her life being with you.
Yeah, as I was about to say, dealing with me and preparing for the fight, that goes kind of hand in hand, so she can thank me at any time she wants.
It'll remind her when she's on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Be thankful.
Yeah.
No, it's I've been everybody says they've been very blessed. They've been very blessed. Like, I have. I've been very blessed in the last just under 5 years. I managed to get out of the military, expand my family. We had to buy and sell a couple of houses in order to build this one, and it's not been comfortable. We've had to live in small rentals, that kind of thing, with 2 kids and dogs. And
You guys lived in the camper for a little bit there.
yeah,
right?
we were living in a camper for a little bit, and we were just like, this is our goal. This is what we need to make happen. And we just kind of pulled out all the stops to accomplish that. And you know what? It's going to sound like I'm giving myself a pat on the back and my wife a pat on the back, but damn it, I am right now. Like, it sucked,
And
but
no shame in that, dude. Because honestly, it's like you faced issues there, but you overcame them. I mean, I feel like you should be proud. And for people to say like, oh, you don't want to pat yourself on the back too much, but it's like, do it. Like shit.
Yeah.
Like that ain't easy, man. Like there's like people our age right now who are struggling and who are facing things and who, unfortunately don't always overcome those struggles. And to say that you can, it's a good thing to be proud of, I feel like.
well, and that's the main thing. It's just like, don't quit. If you're single and you don't have somebody there for like that support that a significant other, would kind of fill that gap, just don't quit. Just hold yourself accountable and move forward. If you are married, one thing that I've found, 100% honesty between my wife and I from day one. Like, even if it's uncomfortable talks, that kind of thing about finances, it's, you have those talks and you keep doing it. You can be mad at each other. That's okay. I'm not going to sit here and say, don't go to bed angry. Like, I've gone to bed angry plenty of times, but it's about waking up that next day, figuring out what's important and moving the hell on. And, just find those goals and work together to achieve them. And, I'm not rich by any means. I've got a healthy amount of consumer debt. But we finally got our family at a point where we're comfortable. We have a good roof over our heads, and now we attack the next thing,
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's the thing too is, we went the same route. I felt like, now I was previously married and, I have a daughter, for my previous marriage. Her name is Alana. She's going to be 9 this year. She's awesome kid. And I do like I do like 50% parenting. And I think we're fortunate enough to be in we have a good relationship with my ex, and things are pretty good, and I feel like a lot of people run into issues when it comes to that. I know buddies of mine have, baby mamas, and it's like baby mama drama all day, and I'm glad I don't got any of that shit,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like, with my wife now, Ramita, it's I think that's kind of what I learned, was, you do need to kind of be 100% from the get-go, and that's something we've strived for. And I will say it's definitely caused a lot of issues early on, because it's like being that honest really, because yeah, they're gonna hurt somebody, I said some things that, about my past or things I've done and things like that, and they're always not good things, but at the same time, understanding and fully knowing my wife, and I think her fully knowing me, has made it to where our relationship's a lot stronger nowadays, because it's like, well, I know who she is, and she knows who I am. It's kind of like that whole, what is that, bare your soul kind of deal.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is, yeah, it's kind of corny, right? But
Yeah.
it's true. I don't know. I feel like I'm in a lot better place relationship wise because of that. So,
Well, and it shows your partner that you have, equity in the relationship.
yeah, you got skin in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're like, let's say something simple. You're not even like, I'm not even talking like cheating on your spouse, but if you're like hiding a separate bank account or something like that, you know what I mean?
That's weird, man.
That is, but people do it. People
That's
do
so
it.
weird, dude.
But that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's like that subversive type of behavior.
Yeah.
Once that person finds that out, that you've been hiding something like that from them, like, what does that tell them? Like, if my wife came out and told me, like, I've got a separate bank account, it's like, what, you didn't trust me with that knowledge? We've been married for 6 years and you didn't trust me to know that you've got another bank account? Like,
yeah. Oh, and I feel like, because we have separate bank accounts, and I think that's okay, but it's like,
yeah, I'm talking about like a secret bank account.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm hiding, I'm
weird,
squirreling
man.
it away from my partner.
Yeah, that definitely seems like something not, I don't want to say what's the word, not vindictive, but it does seem like a little weird, a little sus.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you? It's a rainy day fund,
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you planning to do with that money? And that's just the example. Like, just be 100% honest. Like, even with purchases and stuff like that, and it's not, you can call it whipped or whatever, but I'll feel guilty about spending $50 on myself on Amazon when it's like, we could have used that for something else for the kids, or it could have gone towards the mortgage, something like that. And I've had times where I've almost like blurted it out, like, I spent $50 on Amazon today. And she's just like, and okay, I'm just like, I just needed to get it out there. Like, and she's like, yeah, I know.
You know now.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, I know, dummy. I get the notifications on my phone. And I'm like, all right, yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah. No, that's definitely, it's a funny note there, but for sure, I mean, I feel the same way. I really don't spend money. Like, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I have like clothes and I got food on the table and I'm good. But yeah, like it's the same thing. Like if I do, like, we bought some equipment for the show. I don't know if people noticed, but we got new mics. Yo, awesome. But new mics and stuff like that. But little things like that, I will definitely like mention to the wife. But I think and she does the same. She'll buy like stupid things, I think, but she'll buy like stupid little cat things. She loves cats. But she loves that shit and I don't mind, but it'll be like $5 here and there. But it does add up, but she'll at least mention it like, hey, like I got this or whatever, or I'm getting this. All right. Like, cool. Like, and then it's not like I'm going to be like, no, or vice versa. She's not going to be like, no, it's more like you just kind of keep each other in check.
Yeah. You're on the same page with each other.
Yeah.
And I guess, that's kind of where I was going with this whole tangent is, just, I feel lucky to have a partner that, we jive together and we're on the same page.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, and I think that just leads into a better life overall. I think everybody should strive for that, finding a partner who's kind of on your same wavelength. That way you just have a happier life,
Yeah, 100%.
If that's for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And find that person that makes you, want to be better. And that'll tie us into the next talking point that I had is like fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, if you're friends with me on social media, you'll see that I've got an uptick on what I've been doing as far as working out. And understand that stems, you could look at it as I'm looking for attention, that kind of thing. It's cathartic for me. Like, I have fun with it. I have a lot of fun. And a little over a month ago, like, I just noticed that I felt like shit. My sleep was shit. I had very minimal water intake. My diet, I was having meals of opportunity. And then even then, those meals of opportunity, it was shit food. And so I felt like shit. I wasn't working out. I've always enjoyed being fit and working out. And for well over a year, I just wasn't doing anything. I wasn't putting in the effort. I kind of threw myself into work, and I didn't leave anything for my home life, so I was just feeling kind of downtrodden. And I had a talk with my wife, and which she's been doing some, my wife is a First Form Legionnaire. So I'm sure you've heard of the company First Form. They're a big company as far as supplements and fitness. I really love, like, the owner, Andy Frisella. He's got a good message. He's got a podcast out there. It's the Real AF podcast. It's really great to listen to. So a lot of his views I align with. And my wife has been a First Form Legionnaire for around a year. She's not a sponsored athlete or anything like that, but look at it as she's an affiliate where she can get a commission from the supplements. She'll, use their supplements. She promotes them, that kind of thing. And so it's working with the company. And I just had this one day where I was like, I need to go work out. I went out we've got a shop gym that she uses. You've seen like posts of my wife, like she's straight up killer, like that woman.
Yeah, she's shredded.
Yeah. And, I went out and I worked out, and I really didn't even do that much. I can't remember what I did that day, but I was dogging it, man. And I was like, this isn't me. This isn't how I used to be. When I left Italy, I I think I was 215 pounds, and I ran a 12:45 2 mile like right before I left, and I was strong for me. You know, there's plenty of people stronger out there, but like I felt strong as hell. I could run, I could do the thing, and you know, here, you know, I felt like a shell of myself, and so I came inside and I sat down with my wife, and I was like, I need to make a change. I feel like shit. My sleep is shit. I'm not drinking enough water, that kind of thing. She got me on one of First Form's programs, got me in the app. I started tracking my food intake and making sure that I'm drinking over a gallon a day of water and that I'm exercising at least, 5-6 days a week. And just completely like something in my head switched to where I feel like the old me. I feel better. I've started losing fat. Super happy with myself. And so, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I got tired of feeling sorry for myself. You know what I mean? Like in the last episode, I talked about my story with First Sergeant Riley. And how he just he bummed a dip from me, and he's like, man, I love this shit. I don't know. I just never feel sorry for myself when we're all out sucking in the field.
Yeah.
And, that was the step that I needed to take, get my diet in check, start exercising, and then.
And not feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah, not feel sorry for myself.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that's a big thing. I'll touch on that a little bit too with my, I guess, story there. It's same thing. I think both me and Sean would in the military, I mean, shit, we'd be hitting the gym all the time. I feel like we'll post some pictures.
Yeah.
We're not just talking. We were definitely in pretty good shape. But we both have injuries and sustained injuries during our service. And at least for me, some things definitely aren't the same. I got some pretty bum hips now.
Well, you got that whole phantom thumb thing going on right now.
Yeah, and I sprained my thumb just the other day. I'm getting old. Anyway, so not trying to make a pile of excuses, but it changed things. When I got out, I didn't lift, I didn't do anything like that because I was in pain a lot of the time, and I didn't really know how to deal with that. I think, and that was a big problem. And then recently it's the same deal. My wife, Ramita, she actually signed up for a fitness, challenge. You see him on Instagram all the time, and she follows she has a coach, she has a training coach. I forget his name. She'll have to mention it one time, but she did the challenge. It's one of those 90-day challenges, and you win a couple $1,000 or whatever it is. And she did it and she won.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, man. And I'm sitting there thinking crushing some ho-hos and Twinkies and shit. And gaining a lot of weight and just just feeling miserable and feeling like crap. And I'm thinking something ain't right here, man. I was a stud, and now it's my wife's killing it. What's my excuse? I work from home. I don't have really much excuses. So same thing. I stopped feeling sorry for myself. And it's been a little bit slower. I've been taking it at my own pace, I feel but which is a healthier way, because I'd made attempts before in the past, and I would just try to go 100%.
Yeah.
And I would end up hurting myself, trying to get back into lifting, or exercising. And that's the thing, people. It's when you take such a good amount of time off, you do need to kind of transition back into it. You do need to grease those gears. You can't just go just ripping just serious weight right off the bat.
Get ready for tomorrow, because we're starting a 12-week linear progression program. I've got it. Michelle mapped it all out on.
I'm gonna amputate
Google
my
Sheets.
thumb first.
Yeah, he's got to get rid of that thumb. I don't know what's going on with that thing, but
yeah.
Look at that, dude. We're gonna get strong these next 12 weeks. I mean, it's gonna be a high intensity, but let's shred this fat and do it.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is, it was that whole don't feel sorry for yourself, right? And then Sean's saying we are gonna get on a program here that's gonna help with that. But it checks all the other boxes, mentally, self-conscious wise, you don't feel like crap anymore. It's nice to be able to put your jeans on without having to struggle. I've lost a considerable amount of weight. I was and I'll be totally out there, people. I'm not tall. I know it may seem like I'm a giant on this video right now if you're watching, but I'm not tall. I'm 5'6" on a good day. And I was 234 pounds, I think was at my heaviest.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight at 5'6".
It is.
And so now I've been eating cleaner. I've been just being more active, not like sitting. Again, I'm a remote worker most of the time. Um, and so, that stagnant body really led to me gaining a lot of weight. So I've just been moving, eating better, making better choices. Now I'm down to like 209, like 207, right around that area, and feel way better. Obviously, that's not like the end goal. Like I'm trying to get back down to like, 190, 180, and just try to build that lean muscle mass again, and just feel better. That's the thing, people. You got to find something. I think that's just really gonna. I wouldn't say like lifting's for everybody, but if you do like cardio or things like that, do that.
Yeah.
Or if you don't like going to the gym, go hiking.
Yeah.
Or go for walks. Anything to keep the body moving. And I really feel like that is something that everybody should do. And you probably hear a billion people say it, but it's true. You feel way better. Everything starts moving more.
Well, that's the thing. You also have to find a goal, just like I talked about earlier. Where you're finding a goal for your family. Find a goal for yourself as well. I keep plugging the hell out of First Form, but just this company. Really enjoy it. I mentioned that my wife is a First Form Legionnaire. Just the stuff that I've started posting on social media about my exercising, I ended up getting an email invitation to put in for their Legionnaire program. And I put in for their Legionnaire program and had an interview. I got accepted. So now, like, I'm a First Form Legionnaire. I'm aligned with the company. I take their supplements. I love their supplements. And, it was a big thing for me. Just that interview, like, yeah, I can gain income off of it if I get their products sold and I have people like buy their products through my link and stuff. But that's not my end goal. Like
that's secondary.
Yeah, this company is pushing me to be a better version of myself. Like I'm not ashamed to say it. I entered their First Form Outdoors pro staff search. And so that's where you get an actual sponsorship from First Form. And so like that's a goal of mine. If I get it, dude, that'll be awesome. But if I don't get it, what have I wasted? I've wasted nothing. I've pushed myself towards a goal. I've gotten in better shape, and as a byproduct of checking my diet, upping my water intake, making sure I get enough sleep, and making sure I exercise, I just feel better. And I get to be that person that my kids deserve, for me to be, that my wife deserves for me to be, instead of just being this fat blob walking around the house. And then my wife is walking around the house all cut up and shit, preparing for her MMA fight. Like, she doesn't deserve that. She deserves somebody that's willing to go out there and put in just as much work as she's doing.
Like heavy breathing everywhere. and here's the thing: I don't think we're trying to necessarily like say like fat shame or anything like that. But it's like for us, we're talking about our own thing. It's like we don't want to be that way.
Well, that's 100%, and it was the main thing that made me feel like shit.
Yeah.
Like listen, I'll be 34 in December.
No.
Like, no, right? I'll be 34 in December. I'm not out there trying to be like on the cover of Beachbody or anything like that. But I also need to make sure that I'm going to have longevity to see my children grow old. I don't want to have a flight of stairs kick my ass, like go from sitting in my vehicle to walking up a flight of stairs and I'm breathing hard. And that was the route that I was on, and that's not good as far as longevity is speaking.
No, I mean, and it's all encompassing, right? That does affect everything else too. That affects your work life. You especially being obviously more active role, being a police officer. It's like that could potentially like hurt you down the road or lead to you losing your life or something like that.
Well,
like if you're not
and I got other people depending on me.
Yeah.
Like let's say I'm working with somebody and they have to go chase somebody on foot and I'm dragging ass and they end up catching that person and I don't know where they are or I'm far enough behind them. All of a sudden they're having to roll with somebody by themselves. And that's not fair. That's not fair to them, you know? So I need to make sure that I got my shit in check.
But yeah, definitely. And I think that's, again, it's all encompassing. So like, I would say that, even mentally, like I feel a lot more clear on things. Like I have more clarity when it comes to just day-to-day tasks and things I need to get done. Me having ADHD, it doesn't really help. I already got that fog as it is. But since I started working out again, eating cleaner, having like a more, fitness-oriented life, again, I definitely feel a lot more clear on a lot of tasks. You know, and it's nice. It's a good feeling because you know that affects not only your work life, but it affects your day to day life with your family, your kids. You can be more present. You can feel more present.
Yeah. You're
and,
not
like,
irritable.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, definitely. Whatever it is, find something. Another big thing. I can't swim, but we got into kayaking this year, and it's awesome. If you haven't had a chance to go kayaking, I'd recommend it because it's fun. At least out here, like we have lots of rivers and lakes and stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like honestly, being out on a lake or a river and you're just in a kayak, it's like the best feeling. And it's not as hard as people thought. Like again, I can't swim and I was freaking out about it, but um it's fun. You just got to do something like that, you know. And I guess that does lead us into the next like section there. We're going to talk about some hobbies and kind of like what we like to do, you know, I
Yeah.
guess outside of like fitness and work and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. My main hobby right now, it is the fitness thing, and we're also going into winter, and so it's less outside activities, at least for me. I don't have snowmobiles, I don't ski, that kind of thing.
Not yet. We got to get snowmobiles. That snowmobiles are awesome, man.
So much money.
Yeah.
So much money.
Sell a kidney.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, so the fitness thing, as far as hobbies, that's what I'm really throwing myself into right now. And I know you're probably tired of hearing these two fat dudes fucking talk about like back in shape, but it's that's a big part of what we're doing right now. I'm trying to get my strength up. Gonna start doing more. Listen, you kind of browbeat me on a financially irresponsible move that I made, but Andrew walked into my shop today. And I was like, you got to check this out.
I don't always browbeat you. Your brows are fine. They're not bruised or nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Walk him over to the gym section of the shop, and then I ended up getting a 12-inch like log for log pressing, like a metal.
It's not
tight-
12 inches wide, people. This is a full like
Yeah,
bar. Have you ever seen like a weightlifting bar? It's like an Olympic sized bar. Like I think it's 8 feet, probably 7.5.
yeah, and then it's got a portion of it where it's 12-inch in circumference, like metal drum, like a log. So if you've ever watched strongman competitions like log press, where you can buy metal ones. So
It's sweet. We did hit a couple of reps before we went on.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So I'm trying to do more of that. I'm trying to get my functional strength back up. And like, you're not going to see me on World's Strongest Man anytime soon. I'm not 6'8". I'm not 420 pounds, but that's the thing.
Coming soon.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
coming soon. World's Strongest Man. I think it's fun. I think it's just intriguing. I think grip strength is intriguing. I think picking up weird shit, I think that's super intriguing. I want to get in. I want to get into some of that. So like that's my goal for the winter is I'm gonna integrate a little bit of it into this linear progression program for the next 12 weeks, and then I'll gonna do a strongman type regiment for probably about 3 months after that, and kind of flip on and off. So,
Yeah, no, and I mean that's more of the same. I think, like honestly, I'd say that's kind of like what the hobby is. For me as well, mine's kind of like I do have like other hobbies. You know, I like to play video games with the boys and stuff, things like that. But yeah, I'd argue that like during this winter phase, you know, we're definitely trying to hit on the fitness side of things, and me especially too. It's you know, it's like bulking season, but I'm trying to like cut up a little bit still,
Yeah.
trying to shred down. So
well, that's the thing. We got some fat to trim, and some muscle to grow is the thing to get back to where we were.
And I think that'll be cool too, because like with the podcast that we're doing now, you know, hopefully you guys will be able to see that, and we'll be able to see that, you know, that kind of shredding of the weight and maybe some definition coming in, and maybe that'll kind of like spark some interest or some fire for some people out there viewing and listening to do the same,
Yeah.
you know, because it is doable.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, do it with us.
Mhm.
Hit us up, man. Like, I'd love to talk to some of you guys about like, because I want people to feel how I feel right now. And like, we all hate that annoying person that's like, oh, come to the gym with me. And it's like, but you get it. Like when you're in that swing and you're feeling good about yourself and not in just like oh, well, I look good in a mirror, which I don't right now. But like, that's the thing. you're feeling better on the inside, and you want that to translate and
Well,
go
yeah,
out to everybody else, you know?
yeah, you want your friends and family to feel like good too, you know. And that yeah, that like Sean said, hit us up. Sean developed like a pretty good program that we're starting on, so um, you know, I think you could probably help some people out with that as well if they
Yeah.
have questions on it. But yeah, I think that'll be part of this podcast moving forward. Is not going to be so much of like, oh, like who are you? You know, it's going to be more so of like what we're up to, maybe like current goals for that week or whatever. And then another thing moving forward, we do get winters up here, just so people know. Wyoming and Montana do get some pretty heavy snow. So there'll be some episodes where we're not like in the same room, but we're still gonna do the same thing. I'll just be at like my place, and then Sean will be down here, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
We do get some pretty bad like whiteouts essentially, and these roads get mean during the winter months. But yeah, no, like moving forward on that, you know, um, yeah, I definitely think this winter is going to be a good time for it because I feel like we spent most of this year, at least the majority of the year, kind of like building up to like this point, and now it's like we can kind of start dabbling into that strength side of things.
Yeah.
And really focusing on that, which is the fun part, because I feel like doing anything like cutting is kind of sucks, you know, because you don't
Yeah.
feel like the strength all the way.
Well, that my cut started at the beginning of the summer. So we have wood stoves in the house. Like we've got furnace as well, but to kind of supplement our propane consumption, we got the wood stoves. So got wood permits. Got my chainsaw. Been going up into the mountains the majority of the summer, cutting firewood, and then splitting that firewood. I did it all with like a splitting axe and a splitting maul.
Yeah, that ain't easy.
Yeah, like I started this summer out at about 240 pounds, and so I'm 6'1", 240, and it wasn't a good 240 at all. It was not a healthy 240. Like love handles for days.
Yeah, we were both dad butt up. I say we still kind of are, but it's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there. My love handles are disappearing, so I'm pretty happy about that. But I dropped from 240 to about 215 before I started the first form program, and I mean losing that weight, it was good, but I felt like atrophied, you know.
Mhm.
I don't know. So
Well, and that's the thing. I think going in like a program like how you laid out, being more strength based, and not necessarily like at a severe caloric deficit. Maybe not doing 500 negative a day. Maybe do like negative calories, people. So like negative, maybe do like minus 250 calories a day instead of 500, and that's off like your maintenance caloric like number there. So like if you're at 2,000 calories per day to maintain your weight, you should probably be, you know, around 500 if you want to lose a pound a week,
yeah.
right? Negative 500, so that'd be 1,500, and 250. What is that? 1,750 calories a day. So, and that like for me, that's kind of, you got it lucky because you're tall.
Yeah.
So like,
well, I gotta play around with what I'm gonna do. So I'm at like 2,600 on calories, and then I'm like
must be nice, man.
like 262 grams of protein a day, and so I'm probably gonna drop it down to 200 grams of protein a day.
Oh no.
We'll see. I don't know. I really like my maintenance intake, but it's kind of neat. The last 8 weeks I've been on that maintenance, and my weight is staying the same, but I can tell the differences in like losing fat. Like I said, I'm losing my love handles and stuff like that. So gaining muscle back, losing that fat, and I'm not having to really skimp on meals, changing the quality of what I eat. You know, that was the big thing, and I feel a hell of a lot better. It's weird how you eat clean, and then I had a sub sandwich a couple of weeks ago, and like Subway isn't that terrible for you, but it's also
salt, though.
a lot of salt, and that's the thing. You're burning like 1,100 calories in one 12-inch sandwich, and so that was, you know, that's half of my day, and so, you know, it just threw my day off, and I ended up feeling like shit after I ate a 12-inch sandwich, and it wasn't even that bad. It was like a chicken bacon ranch or something, but
yeah, and like on the flip note for me, not so lucky. Like my maintenance is more around like I think it's like 1,800 is like my maintenance. So, which is not a lot of food, people.
Yeah.
Especially if you're eating like a lot cleaner. So shout out to the short kangs out there because it's definitely difficult. And women too. That's the thing too. Like I know when my wife was again I mentioned earlier she won a competition. She won like I don't know, it was like $1,500 or something, and it was awesome. She shredded up and everything, but her like maintenance is insane, dude. It's like it was 1,500 calories. So 1,500 calories in a day is like nothing. Like that is literally a Starbucks drink and a sandwich, and or a thing from McDonald's. And when you put that into perspective, like it's not a lot of food, and running on that you feel it, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the thing. Like at least for me, I'm trying to like stick around 1,800. I'm trying to stick around my maintenance because my whole mentality, like, and a lot of short people out there probably understand this, like especially if you're into lifting and stuff. My mentality of like working out and everything and trying to like cut weight, I just lift harder because I can't eat less because I'm gonna wither away and die.
Yeah.
I'll be starving. So I can't eat less and I can't eat anymore. So I have to just work out even harder. That way those calories do come down a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like Michelle's maintenance is crazy low right now, because she's got to drop to 125 for her fight this week, and so she's upped her water intake. She's drinking 2 gallons of water a day, because she's doing a water cut, and so she'll cut her consumption at the end of this upcoming week in order to make weight. And so it's she's not eating a lot, and
and then you got like Sean there eating like 2,600 calories a day. Making things difficult.
Get some. Yeah, I don't know. I need to do a cut though. I'm in an 8-week challenge for first form right now, so I need to
What's
from
the
my
challenge
maintenance. So it's just it's called their transformation challenge, and so the entry's closed I think like 13 days ago or something like that, but you take a picture at the beginning of it and you weigh in, and then it's pictures at the end of it and a weigh in. And so they go and they see how much people have been, working out. And you can also get tracked through their app as well. Like if you're doing their exercises, they can go in and see how much you've been lifting, like how much effort you've been putting forth. So it's not just like, oh, this person looks best in this picture, but they have like lifetime transformations where it's people that have lost like entire people in their body weight and the stuff like that.
You
like
see that some people lose like 200 pounds or even like 100 pounds. Like that's being at where I'm at now, just losing, what did I lose, like 20 something pounds? Like, man, I feel like light and day from 20 pounds. Like I could imagine being somebody who lost 100 pounds. It's like, holy crap, like that's insane,
Yeah, they're losing an entire person.
Yeah, shout out to those people, man.
Yeah,
it's not easy. Like I'll say this as somebody who's been fit, who's been skinny fat, who's been fat, who's been strong. I've been like everything across the spectrum. I've been like everything, right? I will definitely not choose being fat over anything else because it's rough. Like, I'm not saying I'm like massive or anything, but you feel it. You feel it every day. So to imagine losing 100 pounds, you're gonna be, man, you're gonna feel like $1 million,
Dude, 100%. So, yeah, I need to drop my calories a little bit. Maybe lose about 5 pounds.
So are you going to schedule that out to be like, you're going to lose 5 pounds for this competition or 10 pounds? Or are you trying to like, so this challenge, right? Could you gain and then that still be like a winner?
Yeah, you can gain. And that's the thing about like first form is you, at least the app, like you put in your weight right now and you put in your goal weight. Your goal weight can be heavier. Like I eventually want to be, so I'm at 211 and a half right now, 211, 212, depending on like if I've taken a shit or whatever. So if I eventually want to be 230, that can be one of your goals. So, but I think the transformation challenge is mainly like there's a marked difference. Like this person is gaining. Like it's fine. You don't have to like lose weight. But if you were a 213 and skinny fat, and then all of a sudden you weigh in and you're a 220 or a 225 and you're looking cut up, like that's a transformation.
Yeah.
So
no, that makes sense. Yeah, man. Hopefully you fucking win. You just got to work at it, you know.
This 12-week linear progression is going to be like it's good.
It's a lot of workouts. It's a lot of lifts and um I had some criticisms on it with the back thing, but
You got to get
definitely
strong. You got to
definitely
get
a good
strong.
workout. We have like, and that's the thing. I think for me and Sean, at least like when we first met too, and we started working out together, we had like, and this is an awesome thing for people like work out with friends and stuff because you can get ideas and like routines or different ways to like move weight, or just do workouts in general, from buddies and stuff like that. Because I feel like I had like a pretty good like idea of like working out already, but then like you influenced a lot of like what I do, and I feel like vice versa. Like
Yeah, 100%.
was like, oh hey, try this out. You know, that's like this the other day we did it. With those tricep pull downs.
Yeah, so like tricep pull downs, so it's a cable pull,
Mm.
but you've got your bench at like a 45 and you're laying down, and so you're essentially doing a tricep like an overhead extension. Imagine if you're standing up and you're facing away from the power rack.
Which I've always done. I've always done them like standing up, like with my
Yeah.
back against the rack, or like standing up in some way.
Yeah, and you're doing like look at it as like a different kind of French press just with a cable, but you're doing that laying down essentially, and so you're doing your tricep extension laying down, and you're able to isolate your triceps because you're not able to kind of hunch over and put your body weight into those reps. Like it's purely you're taking your body out of it, and you're doing the exercise with your triceps carrying the load.
Yeah, I feel like that's like one thing I'm trying to like pick up on more too. Like, is is completely like taking out other muscle groups when doing like isolation movements, and that's something I didn't really do before. But you know, again, like I'm trying to learn, and I'm always trying to change things to like make it better, like make the whatever lifts I'm doing more efficient. I feel like it's just definitely like the hobby because a lot of people maybe don't do that, you know, maybe aren't so critical on that kind of thing. Like, hey, I'm just going to slam some weight around or whatever. I'm going to go for a run. But I don't know. It is fun when you think about it. Like, oh, if I move this a little bit differently, like, wow, I feel that like there, and it's different muscle group, you know, maybe I feel more that way. I feel like it's fun.
I'm just trying to get strong as hell. Like that's all I want to do. Like my kids walk around the house, and John Paul Sigmarsson, he was an Icelandic strongman. If you followed strongman like back in the 80s and 90s, he died super young. I think he died at like 32 or 33. He had a cardiac incident actually working out in his gym. But he was just like this mountain of a dude, super athletic. But he's got this quote that he was doing, I want to say it was like a cart deadlift. And so like they got this cart weighed down, and you're pulling on the yoke of the cart doing a deadlift, and he gets to the top and he starts yelling at the crowd, there's no reason to be alive if you can't do deadlift. And my kids walk around the house like saying this shit all the time. Like my daughter will just belt out, there's no reason to be alive if you can't do deadlift.
And his daughter deadlifts.
Yeah,
mind you, like she's got good form, you know. And Sean's helping her along with it, but it is cool, like, you know, get the kids in it too, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've got a video of her on my Instagram. She's 45 pounds, and she's pulling 55 for reps.
Yeah,
and just she absolutely eats it up. Like she'll see me do a workout, and then she'll want to jump in on it.
Yeah, it's fun. I know. I think that is definitely something that I think it works for everybody, right? Not just kids. You know, kids aren't just influential like that or easily influenced. It's like other people too. You know, you see somebody working out, you kind of want to do the same thing. You know, we touched on that earlier too. I feel like that's what's going to help us out with this too. Is, again, like I'm seeing you working out more, you know, and I have less an excuse not to work out because I have a lot more time than you, a lot more time. But you know, that's the thing, is it definitely helps keep me in check. Like too, you know, hey. No excuses for that day. Just go work out.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like I need to be held accountable too. And so like when you have people that
Sean needs the boot every once in a while.
I do need the boot. When you've got like-minded individuals surrounding you, it makes it that much easier. You're out there by yourself, sometimes you can let that weak heart syndrome, like laying in bed like, oh, I don't want to do it this morning. Yeah. But you start thinking to yourself like, okay, I'm doing this for me ultimately, yes, but I'm also doing this for other people. What kind of message does that send if I'm talking one thing and I'm doing a different thing.
Yeah. Definitely. Um, but yeah, I do definitely think that takes us like a little bit to the end of the show. Feel free to like let us know what you guys think about like how this episode's going. And I don't mean to like stop abruptly there, but we do want to kind of like segment things off, moving the shows along, and kind of have like a little bit of a structure to kind of give some familiarity when it comes to the show. But again, let us know what you guys think. Like we are trying to make this a thing. Again, it's like a passion project right now, but we do care about it. We are trying our absolute hardest to dial in everything like audio, video, um, and trying to make things better. So
let us know what you want to hear too. Let us know if you want us to talk about something. Like if you served with us and you want us to talk about a certain instance or kind of showcase a certain person that we were with or we were around, we've got some ideas coming up in the future, but we also want your feedback.
Yeah. Any feedback too, like criticisms, things like that. Maybe things you don't like. Really anything. That way we just kind of have a good idea of like what we're doing right and wrong.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't know what's wrong unless somebody tells you about it. You know?
Yeah, so definitely appreciate everybody. As Sean always mentions, I'll say it. Like, subscribe, and share. Definitely helps out, and that's on all platforms. It does help out immensely. Makes a difference. So, again, it helps us kind of see what we're doing right and wrong with those likes and views. So, definitely appreciate you guys' time, and thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see you next time. Take care.